Hi guys. I'm back for an evening chat. No Neha today, it's me. We're going to be discussing something which is very relevant though to what Neha was discussing with Radhika yesterday. So if you remember, yesterday was all about ethical consumerism, and today is going to be all about low waste living. So very related concepts, but we'll get a different perspective from Mansi, who's our guest today, about low waste living. So just waiting for her to join, and then we'll be kicking it off. Hi Anchal. By the way, guys, if you have any questions for Mansi or for me, not that I have specific knowledge about low waste living, you can feel free to add it in the comment section below. And towards the end of the live session, I will read out all the questions, or whichever ones you have for Mansi. So feel free to ask anything that you wanted to ask about low waste living. She's here to share her knowledge. We've got some questions that we think are pretty important, but of course we may not always cover everything. I think Mansi's joined, so I'm just going to invite her. Hi everyone who's joining. Hi. Mansi's our guest today. She's just going to be joining very shortly, and the topic of discussion. Hi Mansi.
Hi, how are you? Can you see me clearly?
I can see you. I
think
there's an echo.
Okay, 1 second. I think I'll be 1 second. Just hold on. Okay. Is it clear?
Let me try saying something. Yeah, you're perfectly clear. The echo is gone. Everything is great.
Okay. So yeah.
Guys, so just quickly, the topic of discussion for today's chat is low waste living. We have Mansi with us. We're delighted to have her here. Mansi, just maybe you can start us off with a quick introduction to yourself.
Okay, so I'm Mansi Shah, and I started living a low waste lifestyle, I think back in 2016. And my mother was like majorly a big part of helping me do that, because they've been brought up in a way, where they reuse things and they recycle things and, make the best out of things. So for them, it's not a lifestyle, it's just how they've been living, they've been brought up that way. For us, like the young generation, it's like new style of living. So I think that's how. And then I decided that the festivals are one like big area where we're wasting a lot of resources and we're not really respecting Mother Nature. When it comes to festivals, we want to enjoy them, but we also want to create a big amount of waste. So I said, okay, maybe Give Green can be a way where people can find alternatives to festivals, being little more conscious. So that's my introduction quickly.
No, perfect. Mansi, if we in fact had a call yesterday with somebody who was talking about ethical consumerism. And before you joined, I was just telling people how, in fact, Badla Foundation, so Radhika has just joined as well. Hi to Radhika.
Yes.
Ethical consumerism obviously is one part of the whole cycle. For people who don't know what low waste living means, can you give us sort of a idea of what that is?
So when we say like low waste living, so basically everybody is using a broad term like zero waste living, okay? But I personally feel that low waste living is something that you can achieve than achieving like the zero waste living thing, because somehow practically I don't feel it's possible for me,
Okay.
So low waste living is basically using what you already have. Like if I have a wardrobe full of clothes, I make sure I use all of that instead of buying new. If I have recyclables at home, I make sure I use them before buying new things like glass jars or mason jars and all fancy stuff. So for me, like low waste living is just whatever I have, okay, make do in all of that.
Yeah.
And until and unless you need and you have to buy something new or consume more, then you go for that. But make you full use of the resources that are at hand first.
Right.
So for me, that's what, like, I want to create less waste, which I hope you got my point.
So basically, what I think you're trying to say is instead of aiming for not creating waste as an individual or as a family, we're trying to reduce that. I think
Yes.
we've lost Mansi. Mansi, are you there?
I'm there. I can see you. I can hear you.
the difference between, I was just saying the difference between what you're talking about and say zero waste, is that one is, maybe in fact, one of them is somebody said also zero waste lifestyle is a myth.
Is a
So
myth.
one is aiming for an ideal state where you as an individual or a family are not producing any waste at all. And what you're talking about is maybe more rational and practical, where just trying to reduce from what you currently at. Is that right?
Correct. Like we all are humans and we all make mistakes. We all
Yeah.
consume, things which we don't have to at some point in time,
Yeah.
We give
Yeah.
into a temptation maybe for a pack of chips. So you can't punish yourself. Maybe you can find a way to,
Yeah.
find a way around it. You don't have to always be like harsh on yourself and like, what are you doing? You're creating waste and we, want
Right.
to punish others also. So I think
Yeah.
when you start a low waste lifestyle, you're a little less harsh on yourself and that's more doable also. And mentally, you're more open towards it.
Yeah.
Instead, if I tell you, okay, you have to start a zero waste lifestyle. So instead of opening up, you'll start shutting and repelling
That's a
from
lot
it.
of pressure.
So, yes, yes.
Yeah. It's in this day and age, it seems a little stupid to sort of point this out, but if you can just give us an idea of why it's important now, especially that people think about at least having not a zero waste, sorry, a low waste lifestyle.
It's important because we've reached a stage where we've been consuming and taking more from nature than we were
Yeah.
supposed to give back, Like when we talk about balance, like overall balance, there has to be
Mhm.
balance between humans and the environment also. You can't
Yeah.
just keep taking, taking, taking and not giving back.
Right.
So when we start a low waste lifestyle, maybe somewhere, we'll start giving back to nature in small, small ways, like by producing less waste or not even like directly, but
Yeah.
indirectly also we can start, we can start bringing that balance. So
Right.
this is the time where we can start doing it. That's why, which is why it's so important and which is why there's so many people, like me who are trying to, help create this awareness that now is the time where we can start.
Yeah. And I was just in fact reading an article today about, I don't know if you're aware of this, something called donut economy. I hadn't heard of this term before, where it's basically saying that if you imagine a donut which is two concentric circles, the inside one is saying that we should at least aim to provide all of our citizens, all of our fellow humans, the minimum necessary to live what we consider a minimum lifestyle. So having shelter, etc. And at the outer circle, it's stopping ourselves beyond which we are consuming more than we can give back, like, as you're saying.
Yes.
So it seems like it's the need of the hour, even though it's been overshadowed by COVID.
COVID, yes.
What do you think? You started off by introducing yourself and talking about how your parents got you into this, and the fact that for them low waste living is just living. It's not there's no low waste adjective. Do you think low waste living is still possible? I won't talk about rural India because obviously it is, but urban India, is it possible? What are the challenges to a low waste lifestyle?
So I feel that we, like India, as like culturally, we've always had a roots where we've been, reusing things or we like wear second hand. Like maybe I'm wearing my mother's outfit, like things we pass on from generation to generation, like using, ceramic jars, which our
Yeah.
ancestors are doing. So I somewhere feel very good that Indians culturally have that in us,
Yeah.
all we need to do is just get back and touch the roots. We've just forgotten about those because we want to move ahead and we want to move fast and we want to do
Right.
everything at like a fast pace. But I think at some point, if you look back, even if you ask maybe your grandmother or grandfather that how can you do this, they'll give it to you.
Yeah.
We have it in us. So Indians, like overall, like urban and rural, like
Yeah.
a lot of us, like if parents were born and brought up in the rural areas or in the urban areas, both ways, they still have it in their roots. A low waste
Yeah.
lifestyle was in their roots. So we are culturally very lucky that way. All we need to do
Yeah.
is just, get in touch with it again, like
Right.
connect
Right.
with it again. That's what I feel.
I had a question on this. I don't know if you've given any thought or you have any sort of facts around this, but so given how much Amazon, for example, and delivery, just generally the delivery economy, where it's changing the way we consume things, obviously the packaging and all obviously increases the waste of packaging wasn't there before. But do you think it's overall a good thing or a bad thing? Because the fact that instead of having maybe you taking a car to go to the store or something, there's only a set of people who are delivering everywhere. What is your thoughts on the delivery economy?
So what I feel is sometimes when somebody, like as a company, okay, I'll share my experience. As a company, if somebody orders, something from us, like for example, any one product, which is going to
Yeah.
charge X amount of delivery. So
Right.
what we try to do is like we give them the fastest way, but we'll check like there is delivery happening by air, by train, by car, tempo, bus. Like there's so many modes. So
Yeah.
what we'll do is we choose the one which is going to reach faster, but it's also not like, for example, if a bus or a taxi is already going to point A to point B. So
Yeah.
what you can do is you can load your package in that. You're not specially, you know, sending something specifically. So that
Yeah.
can be one way where the delivery areas can work around. So if something is already going there and there is a lot of transportation happening,
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
point A to point B. So that is something which people can do. Like we also try that, whenever it's possible to a location where we know that it's a regular location and buses and cars already go there. So we try to put it in that. That somewhere
Right.
we're, trying to reduce the carbon footprint. And
Yeah.
there are some areas where other things are not like only courier service might go there, but
Yeah.
they're trying to like start a low waste lifestyle and they want to order something from you. So
Right.
that's where like it's like the better of the two evils. Would you
Yeah.
like think about the carbon footprint, or would you encourage that person to,
Yes.
yeah. So what the good part is, like if everybody locally started having these products, then people wouldn't have
Yeah.
to order from different states. That can be
Yeah. Yeah.
like a plus point where people locally, have these products and you can just purchase them locally. So that can, like, if you want to reduce the delivery, how the deliverable economy works, maybe this
Yeah.
could be one of the things in the future.
Essentially, what you're saying is that if more people were aware, or more people who use the delivery model were aware of low waste living, wanted it, then there would be more suppliers doing it locally. You would reduce the carbon footprint in any case. So it's a question of
Yes.
increasing awareness of low waste living.
Awareness. Yes. Many people actually don't know, that's the thing. Like, it's not that they don't want to do it. It's not that they hate their nature. It's not that they have some hatred against nature or the environment, but it's just that they're not aware.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Also, aware, I admit that I'm a culprit of this as well. I do care for the environment. I want to reduce my carbon footprint, want to live a lowest lifestyle. But, at some point, everybody has this personal trade-off that do I go for convenience or do I make the extra effort to reduce? Unfortunately, I think I am, if I'm being honest with myself, the person who will probably take convenience. So if it is more locally available, if it's not something I have to hunt down or something like that, then perhaps you're definitely right that more people like myself, who I think are the majority, would gravitate towards low
Yes.
waste. When we're talking about introducing people to low waste, you've obviously mentioned how maybe our previous generations are already into it mentally. So I think the problem is perhaps with our generation, millennials and younger. What are any quick tips, if you have any, that somebody can just quickly sort of introduce into their life or lives to reduce their own waste?
So, to start with very simple steps, if you want to like reduce your waste, what you can do at home is maybe, not let your wet waste go out of the home, like not go out of your house. Maybe try and, if you're busy, maybe your entire society, or if you're living in like a bungalow or something, 4 to 5 people come together and then, collect the waste and compost it.
Right.
So that's step one, where your wet waste doesn't go out. That was also a big step, in the long run. Two can be if you're buying things, like if you're buying an outfit, it can be fast fashion, slow fashion, anything, whatever, how much ever somebody can afford and can buy, whatever you buy, but make sure it lasts. Make sure you use it till it's exhausted,
Right.
Like you don't have to use and throw it. Like, see, everybody cannot afford expensive clothes and, so whatever you can, but make sure you're using it till the end.
Right.
Yeah, like if you buy less, but then buy less, but let it last for longer. It's like, even if you buy good or less, just let it last for longer. And the third thing is that I always tell people, like, don't get overwhelmed, like, like I'm telling you, like you said, okay, you would choose convenience, so if I tell you that, okay, you have to go low waste and, you have to do this. So don't be overwhelmed. Just go slow, because everybody takes the time. Like I also in the beginning, it was not easy. It doesn't come overnight and I'm like, oh wow, I'm a low waist. Like, it doesn't happen like that.
Yeah.
You learn, okay? So take small steps and do what is in your capacity. Like
Right.
take little steps, don't be overwhelmed. I think then it'll be a smooth journey and it won't be like a burden. Like
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
of us, end up thinking, yes.
Okay. Perfect. Um, you mentioned earlier that you started, I believe, in 2016, thinking about or getting into the low waste lifestyle.
Yes. Yes.
Can you tell us about what Gift Green, your venture is, and how it came about?
So basically, I started with selling potted plants, and I would hand paint the pots like "Happy Birthday," "Happy Anniversary." If somebody wanted to give, presents, so I said, why
Yeah.
not grow a plant? It'll be a
Yeah.
gift that will always, stay, and you'll see it grow. And
Yeah.
then I was like, okay, but we do not sell plants out of Mumbai. Like I have this very strict policy that no, I'm not going to send a live plant from one state to another. It's just so unfair for a living plant. So I said, okay,
Yeah.
is there another way I can, do this? So I started making modaks like during Ganpati. Like I used to make modaks on my own, like with soil and seeds. So anytime you
Yeah.
gift it to somebody or somebody comes over, they can gift you that. Because I see a lot
Okay.
of people gifting stuff which is cling wrapped and plastic wrapped and all of that. So I'm like, okay, maybe the modak might not look fancy, but it still
Yeah.
looks delicious and it's you can still plant it and grow a plant out of it. And then we
Right.
made like the Indian flag out of seed
Yeah.
paper because like you see everybody buying flags and wearing it, but then you literally see them on the roads also, which is really
What is seed
disrespectful.
paper? Sorry.
So plantable flags, it's the
Oh.
paper is embedded like it's embedded with seeds. So it has a
Oh,
motto
wow.
saying "Don't throw me, grow me." So you wear the
Oh,
flag and then you sew it. Yeah. So that's
yeah.
something which you wanted. Like the idea behind it was that do not just throw things away after you finish using them. Maybe
Yeah.
you can give it a second life. So those were
Right.
the alternatives. And now, like in this entire journey, now we've started making personal care products, which are, you know, um, like with natural stuff and less plastic packaging. We don't use plastic packaging, but yeah, like
Yeah.
things which you can use in a simple way at home,
Yeah.
without any fuss. So yeah, slowly we keep bringing up products like these, and we keep getting creative because people want like ideas to gift more, and
Right.
sometimes they're like, okay, now what do we do? So it's you know it's the people who want to make the change give us the ideas that okay, maybe you can try this, so that gives us an
Yeah.
idea, okay, maybe we can.
And do you what all cities or areas do you guys cover currently, and what are the plans for
so
that?
we we deliver pan like India, we deliver everywhere, like wherever, like sometimes even like it's a difficult place to deliver, but we make sure that we do it because
Mm.
even if someone's ordering one steel straw, but for us it's a big change for them. So we're like, no,
Right.
we make sure that we deliver, so we deliver pan India. And I don't have a fixed plan for Give Green because as my journey started in 2016, I never thought that okay, we'll be doing so many things. So I
Yeah.
just, yeah. So for me, the main thing now is to create more awareness,
Right.
like through workshops or by teaching people or talking to more and more people, because
Yeah.
that is something like, and I love doing workshops with the younger ones, like the children, because they catch things so fast and they're actually
Mm.
like very present. They're like, yeah, we're using balloons for birthday parties. And then you tell them that all go into the ocean and it's harmful. So, now I want to create and take Give Green somewhere where we're creating more awareness and talking to
Mhm.
people, where we can make a little change also somewhere. So that's my plan for Give Green. No solid plan, but yeah.
Do you, it's interesting that you brought up kids. You've done, I'm guessing, workshops with both, or you've spoken with at least people of all ages about this. Do you feel that the kids of, today are more open about this than, older people? Is that
Yeah,
a,
I think they're much more like, they're much more open, they're much more grasping, and they want to do it. When
okay,
the elders come to a point where, okay, we've been doing this since years, you suddenly can't expect us to change, give us some time. Like, okay,
right,
overnight,
right,
what is going to happen? And the main thing about elders is, one person is not going to make a change. Like, that's their
yeah,
getaway. Okay, if
yeah,
I just cut the milk packet like this, it's not going to make a difference, but it will.
mm,
Children on the
yeah,
other side are more enthusiastic and they're like, no, we'll start right away. We'll tell our parents,
mm,
when we're in the workshop. So they're more keen to learn and do it. So yeah,
Okay.
that's why I like
I
children
mean,
better.
that bodes well, at least of all the bad news recently. At least, the people who are younger than the kids who are younger than us, at least they have good sense.
Yeah, yeah. I think sometimes
Um,
elders are like, molded and then they have the shape. Kids are still like open to mold however you want. So that's the benefit.
I'm sure that's the best part of it, in fact. Um, Speaking of different parts of the whole journey, you mentioned the challenges with sort of getting into low waste living. One must take it a little slowly as per your comfort levels. But in terms of the journey of Gift Green and, the workshops you've done, the awareness you build, or maybe even the products and getting it to people, what are some of the challenges you faced?
So, first is like we've been so used to using products like at our disposal, like
Yeah,
be it shampoo or be it like toothbrush, something we're just so used to. So when an
right.
alternative comes in, maybe the price might be more, but it might be a better
Mhm.
alternative. But there's like, there people like think twice, they're like, okay, because the thing is like the conventional products get made in bulk, they're coming out
Yeah,
in like a
yes.
quantity of tons maybe. And
Yeah,
for example, Give Green or any other brand out there who's making things in small batches or making things in like limited batches and not lakhs and thousands, or
yeah,
so there's a cost, where people like get stuck. Even though our products are really economical, they'll still think
right.
twice because we've always wanted the cheap stuff, but keeping our health like on the back seat, like health and the environment can be on the back seat, but we want the cheapest available.
Yeah,
So I think there's somewhere like a lot of companies like mine, like we have a thing there. And uh, people have this thing, like there's this challenge that, okay, are you sure like it's going to work? Are you sure
yeah,
that, being eco-friendly is the thing? So now everybody thinks of being eco-friendly as a fad, like, oh, it's
yeah.
in.
Label.
No, it's not yeah, it's not a fashion. It's not in all of a sudden. It's not that. Now they're treating a business like, oh, it's a new thing. They've just come.
I think it's just internet.
Hi.
Yeah, you're back.
Okay, yeah. You were stuck for me. Okay, yeah.
Sorry, you were talking about the way they think about businesses which are labeled as eco-friendly.
Yes, yes. So there are some businesses which might, like might be greenwashing you, but there are
Yeah,
genuine businesses also out there who are trying to make a change. So sometimes for consumers, they get confused. Like, so it is a challenge for somebody who's genuinely doing some good work. It becomes a challenge for them when they're out
yeah.
there. Yeah. So that's
The
the thing.
greenwashing is a new term I've learned today. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
No, but where I think despite you not knowing the concrete plans for the future, I think it's Giftgain's an exciting concept. We had one question from somebody which was very specific, but I think it'll make more sense to you. So Comeback Minimalist asks, can we cut and put milk packets in eco bricks? Can you talk about that a bit?
So eco bricks basically we put in wrappers which are like which do not get recycled, like the multi-layer plastic packaging, maybe like your dairy
Okay.
milk packet or chocolates or wrappers of your snacks. Those you can
Okay.
put inside, but tea like milk bags they do get recycled. So do not put
Okay.
your tea bags in the eco bricks. Wash it, clean it well, and then you can give it to a proper recycling unit in your like in your area or vicinity. So don't put
Yeah.
your milk bags in the eco bricks. It's not going to help. It's better you give it to somebody who can recycle it.
What can you, for maybe lay people, what is eco brick?
So basically, eco brick is a concept where your smaller wrappers, like you get those little toffees or like those little sweets in those plastic
Mhm.
wrappers, and there are a lot of like chocolate wrappers which are multi-layer packaging, and they do not get
Right.
recycled because there are a lot of layers, like this foil and this plastic and everything
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
So those,
Yeah.
it becomes difficult to recycle those. So little, and even those little plastics, when you throw it away, they end up here and there, and they don't have a
Yeah.
proper direction. Yeah. So what
Right.
happens is you collect all of this in a plastic bottle and you keep like, filling it up. And once the
Okay.
eco brick is made, there are organizations, I don't know now if they're doing it, but they're like, when we started, there were organizations which were collecting these eco bricks and
Okay.
making, like a cabin,
Oh, wow.
like instead of using normal bricks, they would use eco bricks and make a foundation like a cabin or a small room for somebody. So that was the whole
Okay.
idea behind making eco bricks.
So wait, one can just say if you have a Coke PET bottle, one can empty
Yes.
Coke PET bottle, one can just start putting your plastic waste in that and nothing else. You just have to
Yes.
put it in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like your plastic wrappers, small wrappers, like smaller ones. Yeah. But I also, like, I strongly believe that just because we have the option of eco bricks now, we
Yeah.
shouldn't like get carefree and be like, okay, I have an eco brick, I'm just gonna like
Yeah.
eat and buy whatever I want. So, like
Yeah.
that's the problem with us. If we get a solution or if we get something, we just want to exploit it till like the end. So,
Yeah.
even the eco brick is a good solution, but let's not exploit it. Let's just use it till we should.
Yeah. No, there's a similar concept in urban planning to what you're saying. They suggest that, if the city is very crowded and there's a lot of traffic, building a new flyover or widening the road is just a short-term solution because anybody who's seen the traffic and decided that, my car, there's no point getting a car because there's so much traffic. We'll see, oh, now
Exactly.
the traffic is eased up because of this new flyover. Let me go and buy a car. And then, 5 years down the
Yes.
line, there's double the number of cars. The problem remains.
Cars.
It
Yes.
sounds like a similar issue.
Issue. Yeah. Like now, I think now that's why half the Mumbai is dug up because we think, okay, we'll have the solution for all the cars, but till you make the flyovers, there'll be like 3 times more cars. So
Right.
yeah, that's the whole idea.
Um, we asked about the long-term plans for Gift Green, but in terms of the upcoming short-term, anything exciting coming out, events, workshops, or products which you can tell us about?
Yeah. So we have a workshop tomorrow itself.
Oh,
Like it's like making natural holy colors at home because everyone
oh,
might not be
nice.
going outside. But
Yeah,
this is something you can do with your children, at home and teach them, that okay, there's a lot of magic in the kitchen itself, so they
yeah,
don't have to be disheartened. That's the most upcoming one. And in the coming few weeks, we're going to have workshops on like low waste living and menstruation, sustainable menstruation, natural cleaners. So, like I said, awareness workshops where we can also talk to people.
yeah.
So, we're going to be having those. And yeah, Gift Green's coming up with new products. So, yeah, like I'll be putting them up.
Yeah.
We're coming up with solid deodorants and, things which have least plastic packaging with simple products and you can still use them, without
Right.
chemicals.
Mansi, what is the best way for people to find Gift Green and more about these workshops and the products?
So our Instagram page is really active now, thanks to the lockdown that I've started working on it. So yeah, so like we keep putting like workshop updates. There are green tips you can follow and all of that. So Gift
Yeah.
Green India is the handle that
Okay.
we have. We're also on Facebook and we also have a website. If you ever want to look out for products, if anybody wants to see, it's giftgreen.in. So
Okay.
that's that's our website. I think we have a question. Okay, no, sorry.
And just to clarify, in case somebody wants to call you to know more about how to get into the low waste lifestyle, would you be available to talk on Instagram, or could they reach you on Instagram as well?
Yeah, they can reach me on Instagram. I'm there. So you can always drop a DM and yeah, I already do that. Like a lot of people have doubts and they just straight away message. So that's why we decided that let's
Yeah,
conduct proper workshops where we can guide them in the right way, then in a haphazard way.
yeah. Guys, if anyone's not seeing this live and you're watching the video afterwards, if you go to the caption, Gift Green's handle is there as well. So you can just click on that and find them there. And as Mansi said, they have a website, giftgreen.in. Do check it out. Mansi, thank you so much for joining us and for
Thank you,
sharing.
Nakul. Thank you.
I really do hope that I do intend always to put in an effort to go slightly more minimal. But if anyone's watching this, I do hope that we can all make that effort because it's come to the point where without that we're in a lot of trouble as a species. But thank you again for taking the time and wish Gift Green the very best.
Thank you for having me over. I was really excited to do this live today. So thank you.
Wonderful. And everyone, thanks for joining. We'll be back, I think, tomorrow as well. Take care and have a good weekend. Bye.
Yes. Bye. Take care. Thank you.